Today I'm going to do a front brake job on my 2014 Toyota Sienna. When I apply the brakes, there's a horrible screeching noise, as well as when I'm hitting the brakes coming off the highway, there's a stuttering on the brake pedal. Indications that the brake pads needs to be replaced. We're all familiar with it. You've heard the cars going by when somebody applies the brakes. There's that squeak. It's a little piece of metal which is inside the brake pad, which hits the rotor, causes that noise. So I'm going to go ahead and put some new brake pads on. Pretty sure I don't have to replace the rotors, but once I get the tires off, I'll be able to take a look, see if the rotors need to be replaced. I did replace the rotors a couple years ago, so we should be good. So first step, I've got it up on jack stands. I'm going to take the wheel off, and then we'll be able to get to the brake pads. So what are you going to need for this job? You're going to need your new set of brakes. I've got some Bosch quick stops. I'll put the link down below. Torque wrench, not absolutely necessary, but definitely recommended. I'll put the torque specs down below as well. Screwdriver, C-clamp to compress the pistons, socket wrench in order to get off the caliper bolt, and an adjustable wrench to hold the nut when you're taking off the bolt. Other than that, that's all you need. 30 minutes, and we'll get it done. So let's get started. I've got the front wheel off, but before we start on the brakes, I want to show you one other thing that I'm doing. I got the back park jacked up. I got my jack stand there. I'm actually going to remove the rear tire as well, because since I got the front tire off, and if you're doing this job, you're going to have to take the front tire off, you might as well go ahead and rotate it with the back tire, because according to the Toyota Sienna manual, that's the way you rotate the tires, is you swap the front and the rear. So since I had to take the front tire off anyway, just went ahead and jacked up the back, removed the rear tire, take the front tire, put it on the rear, rotated my tires. Now that we got the wheel off, first step is that there's two bolts here that we're going to have to release, and then that will remove the calipers, which will allow us to get to the brake pads and put the new brake pads in. When you're going to release this bolt, there's another nut here that you should put a wrench on to keep this from spinning, and then you'll be able to break this free. It's fairly easy to break this one free. So I'm just going to take my wrench here and put it on this nut to hold it in place, then take my socket wrench, and just like that I can go ahead and undo this bolt. So I'll undo the bottom one, and then I'll be able to get this caliper off. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and remove this second bolt, get my wrench on it. Okay, now I'll take my socket wrench, make sure I got it so that it loosens it, not tightens it. Always confusing when you're doing it backwards. Go ahead, break it free. And then go ahead and remove that bolt. Now I'm able to get that caliper off. Now that I've got both the bottom and the top bolt loosened up, go ahead and loosen that screw up, loosen this top screw all the way up, and these calipers with a little wiggling, as you can see, are going to come right off. There's my old brake pads, and I'm going to want to set this up here and be very careful, because you don't want to put too much tension on this brake line and break this brake line. But with that, now I'm going to remove the brake pads and put my new brake pads on. So I've got my Bosch Quiet Cast brake pads here, bought them off Amazon. I'll put a link down below where you can get these on Amazon. As you can see, it comes with all brand new hardware that you're going to need to put these brake pads on. As you can see, or actually it might be, no, you can see it here. So there's a piece of hardware here, that the little clip that you're going to have to replace, as well as these metal inserts that you're going to have to replace, as well as the brake pads. Here's my brand new Bosch brake pads that I'm going to be putting on. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these old ones off, the old hardware, and start to put these new ones on. So I've got my trusty flathead screwdriver here. I'm just going to go ahead and wedge this in here to remove these metal parts. So just go ahead and pull this out and get the old clips off. So as you can see, I got the new hardware clipped in here. Make sure that they come in two different directions, so make sure that you install them in the right direction. I've got my old brake pads here. You can see how much they're worn down compared to the brand new brake pads. See how much thicker they are. So let's do a little side-by-side comparison. So here's the old brake pad, about that thick. Here's the new brake pad, that much thicker. So definitely time to replace them. I'm going to apply some brake grease that it came with to the moving part. So I'm going to apply brake grease here and then also on this end, and then place the brake pad right inside there where it's going to sit. There's also a metal spring clip which I'm going to place inside of here on this side, and this one that'll press those out. Okay, so you can see I got some grease in there. I've got the new hardware put into place, and if I'm able to zoom in here, you should be able to see, yep, right there. These little holes are where you're going to put the spring into, and if you see I got one down here, so you can put one up top and one at the bottom, and then we're going to put the calipers back on. Thought I would show you here. So I've got one piston depressed already, and then I'm using my C-clamp here to go ahead and depress the second one, but you can see how much they move in when you use your C-clamp to compress these, and that's how much room is going to be needed in order to fit the calipers back over the new brake pads. And everybody can laugh at my twisted up C-clamp here. Anyone wants to donate a few bucks to get me a new C-clamp would be much appreciated, but you know what, it still works just great. So I'm going to go ahead and depress this other one, put these calipers onto the new brake pads, and then go ahead and show you how to tighten everything back up. So as you can see, I got the calipers back on. A little bit of a pro tip: when you're putting these screws in, you're going to have to press in this bolt a little bit. As you can see, there's a little bit of compression here. So you push these in and you'll be able to get the calipers on. Go ahead and screw these down. These should be tightened down to 22 foot-pounds. So I'm going to get my torque wrench out, torque these down to 22 foot-pounds, and then we'll put the tire back on. I got the wheel mounted back on, got the lug nuts tightened back down to 76 foot-pounds. I'll put the torque specs down below so that you've got them all. So as you can see, it's a fairly easy job. 50 bucks is all it costs from Amazon, a little bit of your time, and you're able to replace your brakes. So if you have any questions, please put comments. If you found this helpful, please like my video and subscribe to my channel to get some more content like this. And thanks everybody for watching.